Had your lunch?
No, I had lunch in town. Your mother's not in her office.
No.
Where the devil is she?
Where she can't be disturbed?
Now, what's that you're reading?
I'm just brushing up on my Constitution. You know, Dad, these 15 judges have me worried.
Annie! I'm back! Where the hell is she?
Mother's simply got to get that story finished before people begin to
Well,
arrive.
who'll come on Friday?
Mr. Jaywood, for one. Peter's already gone to me.
Jaywood. I never heard of him.
He's an important literary agent.
Huh? Oh, by the way, your Aunt Connie's back here. She called. She'll be out.
I suppose she'll want to tell us about her latest divorce.
Well, your mother ought to be told. If she's going to talk about a divorce, somebody ought to be here to listen to her.
I'll be here, Dad. Now, will you please go sail your boat?
I thought you were going to Hartford.
I am, but not until 5 o'clock.
Huh. Well, I better give you a kiss then. Right, Aunt. Have a good time, but behave yourself.
Thanks, Dad. The same to you.
Oh, come on. Be a good sport. Come across here.
Hello?
Oh, damn, there's Connie already. Oh, quick. So I can slip out of here. Where's your mother?
Anybody home? Never you mind. Go say hello to your sister.
Hi, Connie.
Hello, Louis.
Hello, Connie. Uh-oh.
I didn't expect to find you here.
Well, I've been waiting an hour, especially to see you. How have you been, anyway?
Pretty good, considering.
You have a nice judge.
A dear.
Hotel okay?
Food was lousy. I had to keep reminding myself I wasn't in Reno to eat.
Who are you going to marry next?
Well, that's the problem. Oh, Dad, shut up. You are nothing but a question mark.
Ellen, darling, you're looking well. Aren't you looking well?
I don't know how I look. I feel fine.
I called Ann after I called you, but Martha said I couldn't talk to her.
Oh, it's absolutely out of the question.
Ann's not ill.
Oh, I'm afraid my Ann is lost to me forever.
Oh, but Louis, what's happened?
Nothing. Mother has hit herself to write a love story, that's all.
Oh, good. I'm glad she's back to writing love stories. I never could understand those articles about women in business and women in marriage and women out of marriage. Except I had this vague notion they were all aimed at me. What made her go back to fiction?
That Father felt Mother was getting too independent for him, so
Ellen.
he's disciplining her.
Play fair.
Why not tell the truth? You are.
Okay, it's this way, Connie. Last week, my own sweet, dutiful, loving wife ordered our duck pond made into a swimming pool. And after I explicitly told her we couldn't afford it. So now she's writing a love story to pay the bill.
Can't you afford a swimming pool?
It's a matter of principle. I don't have to be firm with my Ann very often. When I am firm, by God, I'm granite.
You men. One minute you go broke buying this pearl necklace, and the next you complain that our extravagances have ruined you. A woman doesn't know where to get off.
Well, my Annie knows where to get off, and don't you forget it.
Well, I admit you two do seem to get along.
Well, we're celebrating our 23rd anniversary next week. Drop around.
Well, imagine that. You remember Father saying that you and a woman like Ann wouldn't last out a month?
Father, oh, he was an old-fashioned man.
Lord, Father, what's so modern about you?
The way I brilliantly handle a modern woman.
Pardon, sir?
What is it, Martha?
I brought Mrs. Nevin's bag.
Where do you suppose Ann wants to put me?
Now put him in a regular room.
Well, that's for Mr. Jaywood, sir.
Well, how about the room next to ours?
Folks are expected for that, too.
Hang around, Connie. We'll put you someplace.
Well, I need a place to change now because I have an appointment at 4 o'clock in my very best.
Ellen, where can we put her?
I don't know what Mother's plans are.
Well, I could go back to the Waldorf.
Oh, no, not a sister of mine just back from Reno. You rate the best room in the house. Let's see. We could tell Mrs. Murray to come here at once.
I don't know where she is, sir. Nobody's seen her this whole day.
This damn nonsense has got to stop. Now produce your mother.
She's out between the vegetable garden and the pump house, underneath the beach umbrella.
And don't come back without her.
All right, sir.
I'm sorry to intrude.
Oh, no, you're not. Look, sit down, relax, rest your French heels. Would you like a martini?
Oh, no, thank you. What are all those books for here?
Oh, I just carried them around for exercise.
I'm crazy to hear about your graduation.
Oh, the weather was fine. It rained possibly an hour. I was handed a diploma, and that's about all there was to it.
I did mean to get back east to be there.
Sorry you didn't.
Well, what man did you take? That sweet Jackie Whipple, I bet?
I didn't take a man.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, when I graduated from Miss Spence's, I invited 7 and 11 came.
7 come 11. Remember that, Louis?
Oh, yes, I remember.
Men in droves don't interest me.
Oh, but darling, I don't understand. A woman must have a manic commencement to walk with underneath the campus elms in the moonlight.
I didn't feel the necessity.
Louis, this is not normal. This worries me.
Connie, you worry about your love life, and I'll worry about mine.
Mind your manners, daughter.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sweetie, I didn't mean to hurt you.
You didn't. I dare say I am peculiar. I mean, personally, I think a woman is a fool to try and build her happiness around a man.
Oh, really? Well, Ellen, I'm in a position where I yearn to know. What else can the average woman build her happiness around?
Plenty of...
Well, if it isn't Mrs. Lewis Murray, and is it gardening you have been?
Connie, this is grand.
And dear.
Don't kiss me, I'm filthy. I've been writing a love story with one hand and reading parsnips with the other. Did you have a terrible time?
Not too bad, really.
Well, she looks better than she did after her last divorce.
The main point is, did you get it?
I'm free as air.
Ooh, I'd like to be free as air myself.
Not if I know it. You don't stand a chance.
Mother, do go change. Please, you are a sight.
I don't mind, really.
Yes, Ann, if you'd go wash your face, I'd give you a kiss and be off to Larchmont.
Who is the odd-looking man over there in the sailor suit who keeps interrupting?
Well, let me introduce myself. It's me, Ann, your husband.
What are you hanging around here for?
To give my wife a kiss goodbye. I'm an eccentric man. I love my wife.
Well, can't talk till I get rid of him. Goodbye, Commodore.
Goodbye, Ann.
Hope you get a good ducking.
Are you peeved at me?
Extremely peeved.
Well, kiss me again. I might get drowned.
Oh, Father, stop making such a sentimental idiot of yourself. You come along with me.
Connie, we'll see you at dinner.
If I get back in time.
Connie, tell me all about it.
Oh, and it has been a tremendous experience. Absolutely tremendous. I've come back full of ideas. Do you remember after my first divorce, I got all weepy and hurt. And then when Ted left me for that mouse-colored blonde, of course I got bitter and drank too much, made all kinds of a damn fool of myself. Well, this time I took myself in hand and I did some thinking.
Grand.
I studied those women out there, and 90%, one look and you could tell why they couldn't keep a man 6 months unless they had money. Well, then there was more drinking this time than last.
Really?
I said to myself, Connie Nevins, you don't belong in that group.
Well, you don't, you know, Connie.
That's what's so amazing. I found myself. I finally realized what I've been missing all these years and what I needed. I'm going to simplify my life.
I see.
I'm going to move to the country, I'm going to have a garden, and I'm going to enjoy the simple pleasures of life just the way you do. By the way, you and Louis haven't had a row.
Not a serious one.
He's a beast to make you write a love story.
It was my own mistake.
He can afford 50 swimming pools. I wouldn't stand for it.
Well, he told me he couldn't afford it. We've had extra expenses with both Ellen and Roger. Then I saw Jim Bambara all weeping and with 9 children and no work. I got soft-hearted.
Well, still, I'd be furious with him.
Well, I'd have been furious with him if he'd have let himself be coaxed into paying the bill when I was wrong. I don't want a husband I can twist around my little finger.
Well, if he's around your little finger, at least you know where he is. Listen, Anna, you don't mind if I fly shortly?
No, of course not.
I'm having tea at the club with Glenn.
How are you? Glenn Williams?
Well, you would probably figure it out sooner or later, but I want you to be the first to know. Glenn and I are getting married next week.
Next week? I thought you were going to simplify your life.
I am.
But you said you found yourself.
I have.
Suppose you lose yourself again.
Well, it isn't like Glenn and I don't know each other awfully well. I mean, awfully.
Yeah, I know you mean awfully well. So why the rush? Wait a bit before you remarry. Take a trip. Enjoy a vacation from the masculine sex.
I just had 6 months vacation. If I dangle Glenn any longer, I might lose him.
Well, if he mislays as easily as all that, maybe it's just as well.
We're so much in love.
Well, wait, see if you are.
I don't need to. I told you. I've analyzed myself. I've dug into my character with knives. I'm really a very affectionate person at heart. Don't you agree?
Yes, I do. It's made me overlook a lot.
Yes. You've stood by the old divorcee. Most sisters-in-law wouldn't, you know.
You see, I like you.
Oh, Anne. Could we get married here?
Why not?
I just figured that if I get married in a happy home, right here in front of the fireplace, that, well, it might bring me luck. Can't stand the thought of another church wedding.
Well, it's certainly worth a try.
Either way, next Wednesday or Thursday. We'll talk about it this afternoon.
Just let me know a day in advance.
I'll take it, Mother.
I'm trying to persuade Ellen to be my secretary for a while.
Hello? Yes, this is Ann Whitman Murray's residence. Oh, no, I'm sorry, she's not in at the moment. Yes, I'm her secretary. Suppose I take a message. I see. On the 15th. Well, as soon as I talk with her, I'll ring you back and let you know. All right, thank you. Bye. It's Mr. Henry Folsom. He wants to know if you'll speak 10 minutes at the rally on the 15th.
What's the rally around?
It's the League Against War and Fascism.
Yes, I'm free.
Your calendar's in the office. I'll go.
Find out who the other speakers are and if I should wear armor plate.
All right, Mother. Is Ellen going blind?
Not to my knowledge.
Why those hideous glasses?
Well, they're just study glasses. She doesn't wear them all the time.
It makes her look so pale and intelligent. Heaven knows a woman needs all the brain she can muster up these days, but it doesn't mean that she can't still look dumb. She said she didn't have a single man in commitment.
Well, she could have.
But didn't?
Well, she did invite one boy, I think. But at the last minute, he didn't come.
Why not?
Don't ask me. She's keeping her own counsel this spring, sometimes to the point of being sullen.
Well, you'd be sullen too if you weren't popular with men.
Would I?
Look, Anne, I respect you far too much to intrude, but do you mind if I make a suggestion?
I'd welcome one.
Well, if she was my daughter, I'd rush her out tomorrow to a really good beauty consultant and a very intelligent dressmaker.
Well, she does have a couple of Schiaparellis around, I think.
Really? Boy, you wouldn't know what to look at her. Look, our family does have some position. Why shouldn't she get advantage of that? Seriously, why don't you have her come out?
She just did come out of college. Can she go back in and come out again?
Why not? It's just awful to think of her as a private secretary. If you're going to play nursemaid to a man, you might as well be married to him. Smile if you want. I'm telling you God's solemn truth. You take off those glasses and introduce her to a few attractive men, and 6 months she'll just blossom like a tea rose.
My God, Connie, you are grand. After all you've been through, you still advocate sly, primitive female hunt for man.
I don't care if she hunts for a man. I just hate to see her wind up a freak or a crank.
Like her mother.
And I didn't say that. I didn't mean that, not.
My dear, if I had a dime for every time I've been called a crank, I could balance the national budget.
Well, you're not anymore. Ever since you've been married to Louis, you've become more feminine steadily.
My dear, you encourage me. By the time I'm 75, maybe I'll be sexy.
Just think about what I said.
I already am.
Mother, Peter's back. I think with your Mr. Jaywood. He looks horribly sophisticated and ultra.
Where do you want to bunk me?
You can have Ellen's room. She's away till Monday.
Do you mind?
Not at all. I'm already packed. Move right in.
Tell Mr. Jaywood I'll be down in a jiffy.
Oh, Mother, give me 15 minutes alone with him.
Why should I?
Well, I've never met an international literary agent before.
Come on, Connie.
Oh, Mother. Wash behind your ears.
I usually do, dear.
Ellen, there is a Mr. Jaywood.
Oh, Martha, show him in at once. And also, Martha, will you bring us whiskey and water? I suppose we'll have to introduce ourselves. I'm Ellen Murray.
I'm Titus Jaywood. How do you do?
Swell you came early. I was hoping desperately you would.
I'm flattered.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Mother said you were an old friend of hers.
Not so old. About 5 weeks. I met your mother in May at a literary tea.
In May? I was under the impression... Oh, well, it doesn't matter. If it's all right with you, I'm going to plunge right ahead.
By all means. Let's not stop now.
Okay. Well, oh. Place it here, Martha. I ordered us whiskey and water. Or would you prefer something else?
Whiskey and water suits me perfectly.
2 fingers or 3?
I think I shall need 3.
Comfortable?
I'm enjoying all the sensations of the prodigal son.
Then I'm coming straight to the point.
Point? Is there a point?
Well, you see, Mr. Jaywood, I've just graduated from college. And the customary thing for me to do would be to put myself across as hard as I could and play up to you all this weekend long. And then, right before you leave, ask you to help me get a job.
I wish, Miss Murray, you'd stick to your American customs. I'd much prefer to be played up to till Monday.
Oh, well, I'm not going to be here this weekend.
Oh, that's too bad.
I'm going to visit a friend in Hartford. Her father runs a newspaper there. Of course, I'd a lot rather stay and talk with you. I'm just dying to know about all the authors you handle. Maham and Priestley. Unfortunately, I made this date before I knew Mother had asked you out.
Naturally, you can't look for work at 2 places the same weekend.
No, not very well. Do you mind if I talk about myself?
I think it would be charming.
Well, you see, I was editor of the Lid and all that other sort of junk. And of course, I have learned all I could from Mother. But you see, Mr. Jaywood, I want to be the best all-around newspaper woman that ever drew breath.
Splendid.
You need it, if you don't want to. But I was hoping that you might write 2 or 3 letters to a few editors, just to help me get a start. You needn't say anything too nice if you don't want to. Just something to help me get my foot inside the door.
That will make it easier.
I wish you'd stop looking so amused. After all, I have already sold stuff.
You have? What?
A few articles, a few poems, and a large sum of $2 each. I wish there was more money in poetry.
A lot of poets wish that.
Oh, and then I have sold articles on education and politics.
Politics? How's your 1,000-page novel?
Fine, how's yours? Really, it's no credit to me. Mother sells what she writes to liberal papers, and I sell what I write to conservative.
Haven't you your viewpoints reversed?
When it comes to being liberal, Mother's got me licked 6 ways. She's just as radical as when she wrote for the masses in Greenwich Village, or headed suffrage parades. Incidentally, Mr. Jaywood, Mother's been arrested 19 times.
That's a very nice record.
I suppose the reason I'm conservative is on account of Father. He's half Dutch. Have you met him?
No, I never have.
I think you'll like him. Can you imagine? Mother an Iowa hog and corn farmer, and, well, Father a social Dutch register. What do you suppose that makes me?
Well, let's hope that makes you a good all-around newspaper woman.
Oh, you mean you'll help me get the job? Mr. Jaywood, I want to get this job on my own. You won't mention who my mother is.
Agreed. There's one question, though, before I commit myself to a series of introductory letters.
Ask me anything.
Are you engaged?
I should hope not.
I've introduced girls to jobs before, and almost invariably I get an irate phone call. Damn it, Jay! Just as I got that woman trained, she's up and leaving me and a child.
Oh, I don't think I'll be having a child.
Well, you watch your step.
Miss Ellen, there is a Mr. Douglas Hall outside.
What's that man doing here?
He's standing on the steps.
I must leave immediately. I'm sorry I can't stay. I'd love to get really well acquainted.
My ambition is to be asked out again.
Well, if Mother doesn't ask you, you come out and see me. It has been grand.
Hasn't it? Your indomitable youth refreshes me.
I bet you wrote poetry once.
Did I? Why?
Something about that line. You seem so impressed by the word youth.
Hi, Ellen.
Mr. Jaywood, much as I regret the necessity, may I introduce Mr. Douglas Hall?
How do you do? How are you, sir? Perhaps this would be an excellent time for me to unpack.
Do you mind?
Not at all.
Martha, you know Mr. Jaywood's room.
The mother said he was to have the room with the sound view.
Mother will be down very soon.
Mr. Hall, this has been a rare pleasure. Thank you.
So you are able to leave Boston.
Listen, Ellen, we've no time to be sore.
I'm not sore. I merely commented on the fact that though you couldn't possibly leave Boston last week, you are able to leave this week.
Yes, well, let me comment on the fact that when I tell a girl I can't get to a place, I don't care to be insulted with a wire for $25.
Insulted?
I said insulted,
But I thought we were friends.
so did I.
Well, then didn't you understand?
Why don't you do a little understanding yourself? You knew I was strapped.
Obviously, else why wire you money?
Yes, and you know why I wired it back.
Frankly, I don't.
I'm no paid escort.
That's pretty cheap.
No, the letter you wrote me was pretty cheap too. Maybe you'd like to refresh your memory.
I kept a carbon copy.
You say you understand people's psychology.
I tried to.
Well, good God, then. Didn't you realize the reason I couldn't come was because I wasn't in the mood? No, I wouldn't have been any fun at all those festivities. It wasn't the actual car fare. Lord knows I would have pawned my watch and hitchhiked.
Exactly. You didn't want to come.
Sure, I wanted to come.
Then why didn't you?
I told you.
You were too proud.
Damn right I was too proud. You think I'd humiliate you?
I would rather be humiliated than disappointed.
Well, I felt you had enough other men.
Oh, I had plenty.
And what are you sore about?
I'm not sore. Is that what you came to find out?
No, I came to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, awfully glad you dropped in.
Listen, Ellen, for God's sake, be a human being, will you? Come to say goodbye because I'm going to Belgium.
Belgium?
Yes, you remember Belgium, don't you?
Doug, what are you talking about? How can you leave your job?
Wasn't so hard to leave. Especially after I got your $25 wire. I've chucked architecture.
Doug, that's terrible.
Now the hell with it. I mean, what do I want with that profession? After 6 years of study and work, it won't even pay me enough to see the girl I love graduate. Well, it's out. My plan was to tell you later, a bit more romantically. Ellen, you've looked right to me from the day I met you. I love you. I'm sick over you. That's why that damn telegram burnt me up.
Well, that's what I couldn't understand. Why should my telegram burn you up?
I mean, if we both cared for each other.
You do? Oh, darling.
Oh, Doug, this past month has been pure hell.
I'll say it has.
Well, everything is all right now.
Well, it's better.
That's so. You're leaving. You don't have to go for some time, do you?
I sail Monday at midnight.
Monday? Well, can't you put it off?
It's impossible, Ed. It's a 10-day boat. I can just make it.
But we've everything to talk over. We haven't made any plans yet.
No, we can do a lot of planning between now and Monday night.
But I'm catching a train in less than an hour.
Where are you going?
Edith Colby's. I agreed to stay till Monday. Say, I might get you invited too.
Oh, swell.
No, that wouldn't be so good. Oh, it's just there'll be masses of people about. We couldn't be by ourselves. I guess I'd better call it off.
If you don't mind.
You could stay here.
Oh.
No, that wouldn't work either. I've already given my room out to Connie. The house will seethe. You don't have to be gone for a very long time, do you?
I've signed up for 2 years.
2 years? Do you think it's wise to stay away from America for so long?
I couldn't get the job if I didn't.
Well, I'm not going to Hartford, and that's settled.
Good girl.
I have it. I will go to Hartford.
Make up your mind.
Well, say I start for Hartford, and then you join me, and I won't go.
Won't they expect you?
I'll wire I can't come. That would give us 3 whole days together.
Together? Where?
I don't know. Somewhere. Some little cottage, maybe, with a lake and a canoe, and we could smoke and talk and cook our own meals and plan our whole life together.
I don't know about all that.
Why, Doug? What's the matter? Have I shocked you?
No. It's not that.
Everything in marriage depends on getting off to a right start.
This may not be such a small start.
But we've had so many misunderstandings, and we've been separated for so long. I think it's terribly important. We discuss every topic we can possibly fight about after you're gone.
Something to that.
I know a little lake outside of Lanesville. There are several darling cottages on it. I know one, rent one. There wouldn't be 3 people around the entire lake.
3 people is plenty sometimes. I wouldn't want to lose your reputation.
I won't. We looked out.
Still don't quite like the idea.
Well, maybe you think I've done something like this before.
Of course not.
Emergency measure.
God, I wish we could marry.
Well, if we can't, we can't. And I do think we're entitled to something beautiful and set apart, something we can cling to after you're gone. Don't you?
Yes.
Doug, be frank. Does my willingness to go like this make me seem cheap?
I think I am. Makes you seem precious. But I don't like it. It's a bit underhanded.
Whose earthly business anyway, except yours and mine?
You have a mother, you know.
I don't think she'd mind particularly.
Why not? Why not?
It's just under the circumstances. Mother is tremendously advanced. Not that I want her to nurse, of course.
Just wish we had more time to think it over.
Well, if we don't. What will we do?
I think you're right. I think we'll
I'm so glad.
So worry.
Say, how'd you get here anyway?
I bought my cousin's automobile. I have some visits to make. How far is a silver mine from here?
About 6 miles.
Your train goes at 5? Just make it. There's a Yale man sitting by my drafting instruments.
Oh, Doug, you must let me pay.
No, I'm going to finance this expedition.
Let's both finance it.
No.
50-50.
No.
I just got a $25 check from writing an article.
Okay. I'll be back. It seems impossible that you and I should have scrapped so.
Maybe our mother was clarifying itself.
Maybe.
Doug, you do think we can work this out, don't you?
Of course we can. College education must be good for something.
Drive carefully. We haven't the time to get arrested.
What have you done with Mr. Jaywood?
He is in his room. We had a grand talk. I asked him for some letters of introduction.
The moment he stepped in the house?
I apologize. But I don't think he minded.
We don't use our guests.
Well, Mother, suppose Mr. Jaywood thought we're entertaining him on account of your story. Aren't you worried stiff?
No, my dear, I am not.
I asked him out again anyway.
Mr. Jaywood, how do you do? I'm so glad you could come this afternoon. Please forgive me for not being there.
That's quite all right. Your daughter's been entertaining me.
Well, yes, Ellen tells me she asked you for some letters.
I'll be glad to help her.
I'm sorry, she shouldn't have done it.
I liked her frankness.
Well, I don't. I'm impatient with this current mania for frankness. It's just a cold-blooded excuse to say what you please, do what you please, and get what you please, without regard to the common decencies.
Mother, there's an article in that. Here I am, just out of college. A nice, important man like Mr. Jaywood comes along. Should I or should I not frankly how good I am and ask for his help? And if I don't tell him frankly how good I am and ask for his help, would I not be a spiteful idiot who ought days in the gutter?
How about you change and start for Hartford?
All right, Mother. Oh, by the way. My plans have changed slightly. Doug Hall showed up now out of the blue.
I wish I got a look at him.
He'll be back to take me to the train.
Did you tell Peter he won't be needed?
No, but I will see you both before I go.
I'd like her, Ann.
I do myself most of the time. Sometimes when that brain of hers gets too active, I wish I'd given her a nice, lovely, little princess with a lisp.
I got it if you could. Of course, I haven't seen your husband yet.
It is grand you can get out. Would you like a drink?
I've still some of what Ellen gave me.
That daughter might imply you with whiskey.
She was jolly hospitable.
They teach them in college nowadays to be nightclub hostesses. That one's coming until tomorrow. It'll give us time for a real talk.
Frankly, I'm afraid this weekend may be something of an ordeal for me.
Oh.
It's not easy visiting an old sweetheart. The chap looks about, realizes this happy home, this gracious wife, lovely daughter might be better luck than his. It makes for melancholy. Single man. At times.
Yes, I imagine it might.
On the other hand, it might work the other way. A man realizes ways escape. Why only last Monday morning I left a home over in Jersey laughing like a hyena.
Don't get any hyena laughing around here.
No danger.
You said you never married, didn't you?
Yes. I've had a few flutters, but big palpitation.
Yes, I must have been. I ran into you accidentally at a tea and find out you've been in America 3 years without looking me up.
I made inquiries the day I landed. Fortunately not in the right social sphere. As around the village. One person told me positively you were dead.
What did I die of?
It's no joke. I can tell you, there in the twilight, I buried my youth and my love. Later on, of course, I married a wealthy banker. It seemed better to let it go at that.
Oh, much better.
You never got to England?
Several times.
Without looking me up?
Oh, I tried. I decided you can't make it through the war.
Yes, I got through.
Several years ago, we were in London. It was dragged me to the tomb of the unknown soldier. You know what I thought as I stood there?
I can't imagine.
I thought, my heavens, for all I know, this may be Jay. Well, I burst into tears. Louis was thoroughly irritated. He made me walk 10 paces behind you so I would be humiliated.
We both shed some unnecessary tears.
I loathed his sentiment.
We must stop. It's aging me rapidly.
Yes, it's aging me too. I want to show you the farm. Let's go, shall we?
Delighted.
I can't get used to you not in the corduroy suit.
I say, do you remember that corduroy suit? Popped into my head just the pants moan when I walk.
I whistled when you ran.
By Jove, that was a pair of pants.
Oh, sentiment again.
Where is this farm?
Just occurs to me. I want to wait to say goodbye to Ellen. Do you mind?
Of course not. Is this your son?
Yes, that's Roger.
He's a nice family chap.
Yes, he's a lot like his father.
Tell me, Ann, your husband is Louis. Dragged you away from my tomb? Does he know about me?
Jay, as if that sort of thing mattered among adult people today.
Louis is quite adult.
Of course he is. You like him, I know you will. He's out playing with his boat right now. He'll be back after a while.
I shall look forward to meeting the man who domesticated and...
I dislike that word domesticated. Do I look domesticated?
Yes. No, Ann. Softer.
The second person today to tell me how softer. Why don't it's not a Christian love story.
How's it coming?
Well, what has me tearing my hair now is love 1977 model.
That shouldn't be so difficult with two children.
They're no hell. Roger is all political science and football. If he has ever suffered the pangs of love, I have not been informed. Ellen and I argue ourselves hoarse over everything else, but when it comes to love, she seems indifferent. Children nowadays don't seem to want to discuss it.
Maybe all the love problems are settled.
I hope so. What on earth is keeping Ellen so long?
She seems to be having a problem with what to pack.
You two haven't met. Mrs. Nevins, Mr. Jaywood.
Mrs. Nevins,
How do you do?
Mr. Jaywood has come out to brighten up our weekend.
Really?
Yes, Martha.
Peter wants to know if this young lady is nearly ready.
Tell Peter he won't be. A friend is driving with Ellen to Stamford.
Really, Anne?
Ooh, a boy. Boston.
Anne, do you mind walking out to my car with me?
Yes, I do. Why should I?
If you'll excuse me,
I know it's not Mr. J. He's always being mysterious.
And please,
What can be so important?
there's no time to argue. I don't think that Ellen is going to stand for it all. She's going someplace else with that boy right now.
Honey, now, shall I? It's hard.
Just now when I walked back to her room, she was bad completely.
What else? I always pack things I don't want first.
She was taking out her party dresses and the white evening coat and putting in riding breeches and hiking shoes. She said she thought she'd do more walking than dancing.
So why get suspicious over that?
I didn't until I just put that boy and his breeches together. You know what I mean.
Well, I still see nothing to justify.
And I may not know much, but I do know we can receive one. Her expression had changed completely. Her eyes were all shiny and starry. She had that look, you know.
Yes, I know. Anticipation.
Exactly. You should know about it right away. Suppose you think I'm the meddling old auntie.
quite the contrary.
Well, I've got a pie. I don't know when I'll be back. Suppose Glenn will want to have dinner somewhere. Nice to meet you, Mr. Jaywood. Don't wait up, man.
You know where the key is.
Yes, I know. Goodbye.
You said you saw this boy like weekend, or do you?
He looks like a very decent chap.
This thing does have a kind of plausibility to it. An affair is the one thing on which Connie is authority. Maybe Ellen thinks she's being modern, or maybe she's just a lovesick child. Well, Jay, what should I do?
I'm hardly qualified to say.
Well, you've been around.
My dear, not to the point of being a mother.
I'm gonna go upstairs and ask you a question. Make yourself at home. And pray for me. Ellen, I want to say goodbye to you before you go.
I'll be right down, Mother.
I'll be in the office. Ellen, you're not gonna forget I want to see you.
I'm coming, Mother. Goodbye, old dear. Think you'll be able to protect yourself from interruptions without me?
I think so.
Well, that idiotic story is about done, isn't it?
Almost.
Crazy three days. Well, see you Monday.
Ellen, I want to talk to you for a moment.
Well, I haven't much time.
Mr. Hall hasn't returned yet, has he?
No, but he'll be here in a minute.
Wait for him here, please.
Why, if you wish.
Ellen, I just like to talk to you seriously, especially when you're about to leave.
If it's about Jay would do those letters, I am awfully sorry. I suppose I was cold-blooded and not at all polite, but I don't think he might have heard him say, my frankness made a hit.
And I want you to be frank with me too.
I always am.
And I hope you always will be. Ellen, up to the present moment, you and I have always got along very well. I ever have to fall back on the fact that I'm your mother.
Dear, you you heard about something.
No.
I admit I am trying every way I know to get a job, but well, you must see, I've not so much experience sticking around here as your secretary. I would really love you, if it were practical.
Ellen, that's not why I asked you in. Hasn't there been an unexpected change in your plans this past half hour?
Why, no. No. Why? Should there be?
Well, you were all packed, and then you rush upstairs, you throw on your party gown, put in your riding breeches, and what seems to be a costume for an extremely rough weekend.
Good night, Mother. Can you see around corners and through walls?
No, but I am blessed with a sister-in-law who can.
Why can't Connie mind her own business?
I appreciate this a great deal to ask if you find anyone, but if you are facing a problem, can't we talk it over?
I felt one's private life was one's private life, and I thought you felt so too.
Well, I do.
Connie got to work on you with her nasty mind.
That's not fair.
You know very well every time Connie looks at a man, her IQ drops to 10.
Well, if you feel that way about Connie's life,
There is no comparison.
I'm glad.
The way she flits from one man to another, why it is positively biological.
Well, she is trying desperately hard to find love.
Of course, if that's your idea of love.
It is not. I'm trying to find yours. Ellen, you are planning not to go to Stanford, aren't you?
Mother, Doug and I have had a terrible time. We've both been at cross purposes, only making each other miserable. And then suddenly we got to understand and realize how much we care about each other. And bang. Just like that. Doug and I would have to leave Monday and be gone for 2 years.
Where has he got to go?
Belgium.
Why Belgium?
He has a job there.
2 years is not so long.
Sometimes it's forever.
There is always that quaint, old-fashioned hustler of marriage.
No matter how married, there's just no use discussing it. We've talked it over. I've made up my mind. This may be our only chance to be together. And nothing's going to stop us. I'm sorry if you're going to let yourself get upset. But really, you only have Connie to blame for that. And deep down inside, Mother, I think you do understand, don't you?
Suppose you meet someone who recognizes you.
We'll look out. We're going to a lake outside Lanesville. There won't be a soul there.
Ellen, this is not going to be as easy for you as you make it sound.
Unless what?
Unless this is the first time.
Put your mind to rest. It is.
Then that makes my duty all the clearer to me. I am sorry. I know how miserably unhappy it will make you.
Mother, I simply cannot be stopped by you or anybody else.
What do you think your father would say?
Does he have to know?
We have your virtues and your sins equally thus far.
Well, I know I must seem awfully underhanded, but you did see. I intended to tell you eventually.
Did you?
Sometimes we were feeling confidential over a cocktail or late some night by a fire.
That would have been considerate of you. Tell me too. I didn't like it. I could love it.
Well, after all, it is none of your business.
You just get this idea out of your head. You are my business, Roger. True, I've been around the past 20 years, writing, lecturing, but my real thought and my real concern has always been about you and Roger. You all I have to show for my life is why I feel like something to say about it.
It's so funny. You get sentimental.
I'm sorry if what I've said amuses you.
I used the wrong word. I meant odd. Because you're usually so rational.
No matter how demented, if I do appear just my old-fashioned mother, can't go away with the boy I see, and that's the end of it.
You mean you're going to take a moral stand?
If you wish to call it that.
Well, there's one thing I thought you could never be. And that's a hypocrite.
Darling, please, let's not start calling names.
I said I couldn't be one. If you stopped and thought it over,
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
then listen. It was blustering March, but a song of spring tide through the village. All we asked of the gods above was a place we could be alone with our love. Some optimistic editor sent me $30 in after rent. And while I bearded the landlord, you hurried to borrow Tony the Iceman's two-wheeled barrow. And we tried with my Japanese prints and your chair, clothes, books, and brass candlesticks all over the square. Oh yes, how I smile now that I write of it, only I'll never forget the delight of it. That you were with me and that I was with you. Yes, we had it all then, all delight. Good talk, good food, good fire bright, and peace. And a kind bed at night. It's still alive and beautiful, isn't it, Mother? In a way. I think it was one of John Bless's best poems. Well, the village must have meant something, didn't it? Mother, I can imagine what it must have been. You all there, at the table at the Griffin, John, Max, Dreiser, or maybe you were all Brooks, you were at Polly's. Or maybe they were all there except you. And someone comes rushing in and says, John Blitz just phoned up. The police have knocked him down and broke her in jail. And everybody rushes around as excited as anything, trying to borrow money to bail you out.
Where did you hear all this?
I didn't hear it. I imagined it. Oh, I had to read out, of course.
What do you mean? Of course.
For my senior English.
I don't get the connection, Ellen.
Well, you see, I didn't write about those cut and dry literary topics, so I talked to Professor Lewis, he knows you're my mother, and he said, by all means, write what interests you.
Goody indeed.
So I wrote Contribution of Greenwich Village to the cause of freedom and American art and morals. It's a rather lousy title, don't you think?
Extremely lousy.
Well, I've been trying to talk since I came back, but you've been so busy. I mean, everything we have that we take is a matter, of course. Bobbed hair, better art, poetry, tea room, votes for women.
Maybe not all to our credit.
Well, that's what I meant. It's so ridiculous for you to go back on yourself.
Ellen, I age know more about the word's limitation than 20.
I was referring specifically to Doug and me. I mean, after all, John Bliss. Well, we did face the same sort of problem in a prudish society, of course. Didn't you?
Well,
Mother, don't look so fussed. Suppose you became together. I were absolutely justified.
Well, I'm your source of information were rather reliable.
I don't think so. I checked out thoroughly.
Checked up?
John wrote 21 Rose Street in 1911 at the time he was living there. And from at least a dozen other sources I found from John and Anne. There were no other important Annes in the village, and John Bliss's name was never linked with any other girls.
Well, look here, Ellen. Do you think it was quite a criminal prowling around the house past the college?
What kind of egg I am?
Well, I'm beginning to wonder.
I didn't put your admire in my thesis.
Well, I dare say I should go to you things.
Mother, you're taking this oddly.
Well, I feel odd.
All you have to do is be consistent.
I see.
I mean, after all we are is a couple of females discussing women's problems. Mother, there he is.
How can I make you see the difference? Maybe I did lead a pretty free life, but I have left home. My mother is dead. As a lot older than you.
You were exactly 24 years old when you lived with John. What is 2 years?
Well, I was 10 years more mature.
I don't know about that.
What's more, Ellen, you were still dependent on your father for support. At that time, I was a reporter on the Old Sun. Once you do the job, I suppose, then you can do whatever you want, even if father and I don't approve.
Mother of all logical poppycock. If I were 2 years older and I had a job and you were dead. Yes, I'm coming.
Ellen, we're not to stir 1 foot out of this room.
It's going to be awful, Pearl.
Yes, it is.
Well, then why? When I am so in love and have been so unhappy. How can you be so inhumanly, utterly lacking in sympathy?
I do.
You don't. You are like all the Unoses. Everything is just ducky for you to do, but all for everybody else. There's one thing I love. It's a hypocrite. And now you. I thought you stood for something. Plenty of mothers be stupid. I know, but I can't deny it.
Ellen, please don't cry. We'll work this out together some way.
I'm sorry. I said what I said.
Forget it.
I'll call it Monday. In the meantime, you got to talk it over and decide whether or not you ever want me in the house.
Well, wait. You're setting yourself up for a terrible disillusionment. What it does more, it turns against you.
He won't.
Suppose he's taking advantage of your generosity.
That's old-fashioned. He's not taking advantage of me any more than I'm taking advantage of him.
But do you realize I have never so much as seen this boy?
He's a man, mother, not a boy. And I never saw your lover.
Dear, at least bring him up and introduce. That's not too much to ask.
Only be awkward.
Are you ashamed of him or of me?
You know very well that I think nothing but proud of you. Until today.
Until today.
Now you're upset. No use keeping this up.
Dear, bring him in for 5 minutes. That's not too much to ask, is it?
He might suspect. He still thinks he's taking the train.
I shall do not shatter that illusion, I promise.
Word of honor.
Word of honor.
Well. Very well. But this will make absolutely no difference in my intentions.
Martha, Sergia, please. Before you do that, Mr. Jacob and ask him to come down. Oh, and Martha, 2 for 4. Hurry. Come in, quick. The jail never with you.
There was some truth in the weekend club?
Plenty. Alex has a job in Belgium. They apparently had a series of court reconciliation this afternoon. The young man says Monday to be done 2 years.
Four devils.
Jay, what should I do?
You can't let her go, of course.
How do I stop her?
You and your husband have to stand firm.
Louis is in the middle of Long Island Sound. You can't very well stand firm. They're about to leave.
You're talking about Lorraine. She goes against your express wishes.
I tried my express wishes and they failed miserably. In this room, about 5 minutes ago, I stood before my daughter, a fallen woman. She knows, shall I put it, that I too have had unhallowed moments.
That's not possible.
She has done research into my past. Call it a professor.
Good Lord, Anne.
make my nominee complete. She even read to me from 21 Sarah Street. She read it beautifully.
Does she like you again?
Of course not. Look, Jay, I fought for her. She's bringing up to see me. And I want you to stand by.
Of course. Frankly, I don't see.
Well, I'm going to serve tea. That'll take time.
And there's the steel.
To be perfectly respectable tea, I promise. Nobody knows anything about anyone. I thought maybe we could find a way to show him up. She loves show something up. You just stand there looking helpless.
Mr. J. Wood, this is Grant.
I dropped down to read your mother's story.
Mother, may I introduce Mr. Douglas Hall?
What do you do, Mr. Hall? Well, I asked Ella to invite you up this evening. Extremely in a hospital. You wait outside, I could do something.
I'm afraid I did honk a taxi or something. I thought perhaps Ellen didn't hear me.
And she had some extra packing to do. Children, won't you sit down? Mr. J would insist that I serve tea. Join us. Mother.
He's really having the time.
When did you try to leave, dear?
5 to 15.
You've oceans of Mr. Hall. Dear, next to me, please. Mr. Hall.
Thank you. And who loves?
Mr. J.
Just
Ellen.
No, thanks, Mother.
Is your home here?
I haven't home. I'm making my cousin's home my headquarters this weekend.
How are you? How pleasant.
Very pleasant. It's very central. I have a lot of errands in this vicinity.
Errands?
Before I sailed to Belgium.
Oh.
I'm sort of liquidating my education. I've already sold my encyclopedias and my drafting instruments. And then I still have Phi Beta Kappa key and 1,000 touch the slate, so I should have it on Monday night.
But doesn't an architect make sense?
I'm through with that. 2 years ago, I got $15 a week. This spring, I'm working for nothing. Next year, my boss is paying him a salary.
What work do you take up in Belgium?
I'm going over to represent a razor blade concern.
Oh, how are you? How pleasant.
the Belgians could do what you want to do.
That's my idea, sir. I'm trying to get the job of social significance.
Seems a shame to give up architecture, though.
Well, not a man wants a home and a wife.
Marriage, just you, Mr. Hall.
In a general sort of way. Can't expect we to wait around forever.
The girls are very impatient.
Some of them, Mother, were impatient your day too, weren't they?
Imprudent was the word.
Because we haven't been going
Mr. Hall. I need my criminal history.
Oh, really?
There was a Judge Hall in Providence once, wasn't there?
That was my father. Dad was a police court judge. Later he became a Supreme Court justice.
I knew it. It all comes back to me. Mr. Hall, our father once gave me 30 days.
I'm so sorry.
Nonsense. I was as original as Bernard Shaw. I went to jail at the house I had to. Hasn't Ellen told you?
Why no?
We really have to be going.
Mr. Hall has been so nice. Do feel free to pop in on any time.
I'm afraid I'm pretty far away from that. Thank you, Mrs. Turner. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mother.
Coming back.
Mr. Hall, why don't you stay with us Sunday? I'm sure Ellen will love you.
Going to Hartford, Mother.
Oh, so you are.
Thank you, Mrs. Turner. See you later, sir.
Nice little mother.
Hey, why that speech about getting arrested in the hospital?
Well, just how uncomfortable the boy was taking my daughter out under my nose.
Yes.
Well, I was trying to just consciously satisfy myself in the living room. Oh, Ellen, come in, dear. Oh dear, I liked his father. I forgot to ask him to come in.
No, he isn't.
Even so, I still He's trying on his own initiative. Ellen, I'm a fool, and I always have been. I'm going to stick with my principles. Go off with the boy. My dear, I'll give you my blessing.
Mother, do you realize Jaywood is still in the room?
So he is. Well, he was also present when Connie hit out and told me.
Couldn't she use a little bit of tact? It's a nice state of affairs when private and sacred things aren't wanted to the general public, and then you start taking that part and you.
I assure you, no romance will lie tenderly and close within my breast.
That line is so familiar. Several of the things you said. You're a poet. You're John Bliss.
Nonsense.
I might have known it. I felt you had known each other. Quite some time.
My name is Titus J. My baptismal certificate.
Right, under a name like Titus Jaywood. I certainly am Bliss, yes. I must have written a dozen letters to find out what had become of you.
What did they reply?
They said you were missing. So what made you change your name back?
You were on the press. New York editor with popularity of American Mines and Steel Mills. Some guy is Titus Jaywood. Whereas jumped to the opportunity to buy from Jaywood Limited.
Well. You don't intend to stop me now, do you, Mother?
I told you I didn't. Besides, this boy may never come back. Anything can happen in your 2 years.
That's what I meant.
Go, or I gain my common sense. Go, climb hills, walk hand in hand into the stars. Make love. This may be your one great hour on earth. Go. I'll stand by you.
Oh, Mother, I won't go in. Stay.
Get out of here, quick.
It has been grand meeting you, especially now that I know who you really are.
I've enjoyed meeting you.
Oh, Mother, I never realized how much I loved you until now.
Ellen, it'll be all right. Don't worry. Don't worry about a thing. I'll stand by you.
Don't you worry.
I won't. Goodbye. Well, go ahead and say it. I'm not a fit mother to bring up a decent girl.
Now, Pam, I wouldn't go as far as that.
But you think it.
Well, on the contrary, I think you did the wise thing. The boy's good stuff. You won't let her down.
Jay, I'm gonna bawl.
Pull yourself together. If this had to come, I think you're to be congratulated that your daughter acted with such dignity. How are you feeling?
When we first started talking, she got angry, and a look came into her eyes. She called me a hypocrite. I couldn't bear the thought of losing her respect, of deliberately pushing myself off of that pedestal on which she had placed me. And she's like her father. When she turns hard. It's all such a mess. I'm such a mess. You're such a mess.
I resent that. I'm a well-ordered human being, thinking clearly, a good judge of correct artistic value, both in fiction and in life. And so are you.
You're trying to cheer me up.
Anne, are you there?
What's she doing here already?
Anne, do you realize what's just happened?
Aren't they starting tea at the club anymore?
Glenn left word. He's going to call me later. No, I mean, it happened to Ellen. Just now, as I was driving back, I passed this most rattly-looking car, and in it was Ellen and that young man. I couldn't believe my eyes. I suppose, of course, you had talked her, some sense into her by now.
But we have.
Really?
Mr. Hall was merely driving Ellen to meet her train at Stanford. They lost their nerve. It was a complete victory for law and order.
No. They were headed north, not towards Stanford.
Naturally, they missed their train at Stanford, so they... Oh, I can't lie.
You can lie, all right, but not well. Oh, Anne, poor dear. I never thought Ellen would deliberately go against your wishes.
Not just now, please.
I was just so amazed to see them. Do you want me to bathe your head?
No, thank you.
How about spirits of ammonia?
I'm fine. Really, I am.
Connie, do you mind if I call you Connie?
I've had so many last names, that's the only name I'm sure to answer to.
How about a cup of tea?
Oh, I'd love one. Thank you.
How many lumps?
Merely linen. You handle a teapot exquisitely well. Are you a bachelor?
I suppose I am.
Don't you know?
I am definitely.
I won't hold it against you. I always enjoy tea served by contented bachelors.
Freshen you up.
No, thank you. Connie, I don't think we'll mention what has happened this afternoon to Louis.
Oh, no, that would be a terrible blow. He adores Ellen.
I want it to be a private secret between us three.
What if he starts hurling questions that awful way he does? I'm never going to be able to keep it from him.
Yes, I know you wouldn't, but he has no reason to start hurling questions if nothing is said.
I'm not going to say another word.
Then we're agreed.
Yes. No, as a matter of fact, I called myself names all the way to Greenwich. I've never peached on a person before, ever. It's just that she's so young, and we were talking about her, and I just felt that you should know what was going on, and you could do as you please.
You were dead right. You have told me, and I have done as I please.
Done as you please? Anne Murray, do you mean to sit there and tell me that you deliberately...
Cookies, Connie?
You're right. You're both right. I'm becoming straight-laced. No. For another trip to Reno, I'll be positively conventional.
Excuse me.
And that's probably for me.
Hello? Yes. Yes, she's here. I'll get her.
Is it Glenn?
It talks like a lawyer.
Hello? Hello, dear. No, that's quite all right. Of course. I can't wait to see you. Your voice does sound tired. Glenn, you're joking. I see. Well, yes, but Glenn... I see. I've heard that alibi before. Yes, much better not to see each other at all. A real inspiration on your part. And so much easier for you. Well, you might have been man enough to tell me to my face. Yes. Goodbye. Well, Connie. Take that on the chin.
Oh, you poor dear, what a dirty, rotten trick.
Man, I thought this was the real thing at last.
Maybe it's better to find out now than later.
It saves a flying trip to Reno. And it can't be done. You can't give your love to too many men. They hold you cheap. That's why I was so right to tell you about Ellen. You should have stopped her. You should have prevented her from making the damn fool mess of her life that I made of mine.
Well, what kind of tea party is this?
You're home early, dear.
Just had to get back to my Annie.
That mean the wind died down.
Oh, enough to use it as an excuse.
Mr. Jaywood, this is my husband. I know he looks like an admiral, but under the disguise, he's just a banker.
How do you do?
How do you do? You the chap that's going to sell Anne's love story?
Well, I hope so.
How long have you known each other?
Let's see, we met sometime in May.
You know, she's in a bad money jam. Are you sure you can sell it?
A good yarn by a well-known name rarely fails to find a market.
My Annie, she ought to write a wicked love story.
Quite.
Tea, dear.
Thanks. Ann, you're upset and, well, Connie's in tears. What happened to this happy home I left just 2 hours ago?
Not much.
Well, come on, let's hear it.
I've had my tea, Ann. If you'll excuse me, I'll go upstairs and dress for dinner.
Nonsense. Don't bother to dress. Stay and chat.
Oh, hello, old man, we're informal here. Don't bother to dress. Just give me 5 minutes alone with my wife, that's all.
Well, I would at least know more than you have to.
Well, come on, old girl, what is it? Tell Papa all about it.
Well, that lawyer friend of Connie's just broke up with her over the phone. It was pretty cruel.
He hasn't seen her since she's been back?
No.
My Lord, will we ever get Connie permanently married?
We don't seem to.
Well, that Glenn Williams is no fatal loss. Played a filthy game of golf.
Well, I think she had planned on improving his golf game after we were married.
Oh, did she? How's Ellen mixed up in all this?
Ellen?
Well, Connie was saying that it was important that Ellen heard about this so she wouldn't mess up her own life or something like that. I don't get the connection, do you?
Maybe. Remotely. Sort of the horrible example idea, I
Well,
suppose.
apparently, she's already told her, if I recall.
Had she? I didn't catch everything Connie said. She was so hysterical.
But Ellen's gone already, hasn't she?
Yes.
Well, if Connie just got the phone message, how could she tell Ellen?
Oh, Lord Lewis, I don't know. Is it also important right now?
You don't keep secrets from me very often. When you do, they stick out all over you.
I'll tell you
I
sometime.
prefer to hear now. Now look, something important's happened here, I can tell, and if you won't discuss it with me, well, maybe I should talk to Connie.
No, Lewis, don't do that.
Why not?
Connie doesn't understand the whole situation. You must wring the truth out of someone. You might as well wring it out of me. Sit down. There. Lewis, all through our married life, the thing that has endeared you to me the most has been your broad-mindedness and your sympathy with my liberal ideas.
Get on with it, Ann. I know I'm broad-minded.
I just thought I'd remind you.
Well, Ann, come to the point.
Well, I'm trying to.
Well, what is it?
Oh, Lord Lewis, I can't tell you.
You can't be that serious now, Ann. You tell me or I'll bat you one.
Lewis, that Boston boy that failed Ellen at commencement turned up this afternoon. They've gone off together for the weekend.
So what? Whose house? Someone we know, isn't it?
Well, they haven't gone to anyone's house. They've just gone off together alone. You do know the meaning of the phrase, don't you, Lewis?
You mean they've gone off together, alone?
That's what I mean.
Oh, Ellen's not that kind. A cheap, vulgar weekend?
Now, this is on a very high plane, really it is, darling. Well, they didn't know they loved each other until this afternoon, and the young man has to be away for 2 years.
How did you learn so much about it?
Well, the young man stopped by. His name is Hall.
Oh, you're imagining this. He probably took her to the train station.
Ellen told me they were going.
Well, why didn't you stop her?
I did try.
You mean she defied you?
Well, naturally, I tried to talk it over with her calmly.
We've got to find a man before it's too late.
Well, Lois, you can't go running after them. You'd only be ridiculous. Now, darling, I know how you love to spring into action, but this is one occasion when, if nothing is done, nothing will happen.
You mean she deliberately told you and then just walked out of the house?
Darling, no, she didn't feel like you had to do something about it. I think our duty is to be sympathetic and understanding and let them work out their own destiny.
Don't tell me you were sympathetic.
Well, maybe.
Ann, are you crazy? You let a 22-year-old girl talk you into this and you didn't try to stop her? You could have tied her up. Don't you love her?
Well, of course I love her.
Well, it's a silly way to show it.
Ellen has exactly as much right to love as you have yourself. Well, as parents, all we can do is prepare her to exercise that right with intelligence and decency. In fact, our work is done.
Did she say that?
No, I did.
Well, how did she win you over? What did she say? You two didn't talk about the weather, did you? You know, Ann, you're too anxious to drop this matter. I think I will talk to Connie.
No, Lois, wait. You're right. We have faced everything together. We may as well continue.
Good Lord, what else is there to face?
Lewis, when we were married, before we were married, you never were under the illusion that you were the first man in my life. You took me for what I was, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Well then...
Well, you were different. You were you.
Exactly.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, when it came to stopping Ellen, I was in a rather inconsistent position.
Well, there's one thing a parent doesn't have to be, and that's consistent.
It's wiser with a girl of Ellen's mentality.
Well, she wouldn't know. You mean she does know?
More about me than I do myself.
Well, how did she ever hear?
She's been writing a thesis on the contribution of Greenwich Village to the cause of freedom in American art and morals, and naturally she discovered that I, among others, had contributed my bit.
This is a hell of a time to be funny.
Well, I didn't mean to be.
We have to agree it's right.
Well, right or wrong, I don't know. Justifiable anyway.
Oh my God, my father was telling the truth. He warned me. He was a wiser old bird than I was.
Your father was a conservative old fool. You told me hundreds of times.
Oh, I can hear him now. Oh. So, Lewis, how does it feel to find out that the mother of your children is a woman of loose morals?
My morals are not loose. I have not so much as looked at another man since I married you.
I can't understand. When Ellen found out she had a mother like you...
I took care. I had a rather beautiful love affair.
I don't want to hear about it.
And I don't intend to tell you. Really, Lewis, it's rather late in the day for you to be getting jealous over a 25-year-old romance.
I suppose you helped her pick out a pleasant place to go.
I wasn't consulted in the matter.
But she told you where she's going, didn't she?
Lewis, they won't be discovered. I don't think there's a chance.
Where is this place? I said, where is this place?
I don't know exactly, and I wouldn't tell you anyway.
Naturally, I suppose not. Look, I'm going to ask you one more time. Will you tell me where Ellen went?
No, I will not. Not until you've cooled off.
Very well.
Where are you going, Lewis? Dinner's at 7.
Well, I certainly don't intend on sitting opposite you at dinner tonight.
Oh, darling, come to your senses. I didn't want to tell you. You insisted. Now, the least you can do is stand by me so we can help Ellen over this tough spots.
I'm going to talk to Connie and then I can be reached at my club.
Oh, don't be such a stuffed shirt. Run off to your club and sulk. I'm ashamed of you.
With your perverted moral sense, I dare say you are.
Oh, damn sex, anyway.
This seems a quiet spot. I'll finish here.
Will that be all, sir?
Have you a copy of the Times knocking about?
Oh, yes. There's one knocking about right here.
Thanks. That'll be fine.
Good morning, Jay. Oh, don't get up.
Hello. Excellent morning.
Why breakfast here?
I started on the lawn, but the wind raised a surf on my coffee.
You're a maddening man.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Would you like some coffee?
You're being so disagreeably cheerful when everybody else in this house is practically mourning.
You seem moderately cheerful yourself.
Oh, I make it a rule never to have more than one good cry over any man.
Let's see. You said you didn't want any coffee?
No, I didn't. Here, let me. Can I pour you some?
No, thanks.
Do you mind if I use your cup?
Not at all.
There. Aren't we cozy?
Have you seen Ann this morning?
I went in before I came down. She's terribly upset at Lewis's attitude. Do you suppose Ellen will bring that young man home with her?
It's not customary, is it?
Maybe. This younger generation shocks me. In my day, at least we had a shred of decency. At least we knew when we were kicking over the traces. Ellen apparently thinks that what she's doing is all in a day's work. Frankly, doesn't it shock you?
Other people's affairs of the heart never shock me. Sometimes they bore me. Other times they nauseate me. But they never shock me.
Don't my 3 husbands shock you?
Not in the slightest.
Just a tiny bit?
Not one iota.
Jay, how do you solve your love life?
Well, now, really.
No, I'm envious. Here the rest of us are embroiled in sex up to our necks while you loll about and enjoy life. How do you do it? You never really married.
Well, not officially.
Don't you get desperately lonesome sometimes? Don't you wish you had somebody in your life who thought you were wonderful, even if you know you're not?
I managed to struggle along without admiration.
Do you live alone?
Yes, I have a very small penthouse.
Not even a mother or a canary?
Not even a guppy.
How appalling.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I do have a Filipino chap who comes in and cooks for me.
Any love in your life?
Plenty of love. I managed to read from 20 to 30 love stories a day. That's about all the love I can endure. By night, I'm ready for a prize fight. Or at least to sit on the terrace and watch the sunset in the East River shipping.
Reading love stories doesn't affect me that way.
You should read the bad ones.
But Jay, you're missing so much. Family, children, romance, passion.
I know. One pays a price for everything, even contentment.
There. I knew you must have a philosophy. Well, let's see. I tried A Short Life and a Gay One, and Love is All. Maybe I'll try it your way this time. Contentment. I'll be a bachelor woman living in a penthouse with her books and her sunsets and her friends.
I recommend it highly.
The only problem is friends. They're not so easy.
True.
Jay, I'd like you for a friend.
That's awfully nice of you.
I could use a wise, well-poised friend terribly. One to watch the East River shipping with. One who's not looking for love, actively. Jay, do me a favor. Invite me up to your terrace some evening.
Surely.
You're not conventional?
God forbid.
Maybe you're clandestine.
No, I'm not that either.
Well then do please, like a good fellow. Give me a ring. Some evening when you're not going to a prize fight.
Why, that'll be fine.
My number's Rhinelander 43333.
That's an interesting number.
Aren't you interested to take it down?
I can remember it.
It's a very easy number to remember. It's 4 times 3. It's the only number in the book that adds up to an even dozen. You can't forget it.
I'm sure I can.
More coffee, darling. Oh, I'm sorry. Slip down. Long habit.
Good morning.
Hello, Anne!
Have we both had breakfast?
Just finished.
I'll take the tray.
I'll do that, Anne.
Was everything satisfactory, sir?
Fine, thanks.
I have an idea. I think I reached that stage in a woman's life where she opens a tea room. Yeah.
How is she taking her tragedy?
I'm afraid she's fully recovered.
Yes, I know, she always does, poor dear. But then Jane, you must admit, she would make the right man a splendid wife, and when it comes to running the house,
May I interrupt?
if you must.
I don't marry her if you don't mind.
No?
No.
Oh.
Look here, did you sick her on me this morning?
No.
Oh,
And yet you must admit.
I do. I also admit she has given me her phone number. It adds up to a even dozen.
The minx.
Now, tell me about your troubles.
Well, my troubles aren't speaking to me unless a third person is present.
I say, that's carrying it a bit too far.
Have you seen the man this morning?
A moment. He's gone into Greenwich to find a minister.
The devil he has.
Also to see about a marriage license.
Oh, the poor befuddled lamb. And I suppose in case Ellen refuses to be made a good woman, he'll bring back a snowstorm to cast her out into.
I don't think he means it that way. He feels...
He feels superior, what he feels. He feels moral, capable of leading the entire female sex back to the gay 90s. The very idea of him marrying Ellen off like some wanton. Oh, I feel the old militant spirit surging within. I'm going to strike a blow for feminine emancipation on the top of Lewis's head now.
And...
You're right. Melting Lewis won't help Ellen. Has your Paris man called yet?
He was out. He's to call me here as soon as he gets back.
I'm awfully sorry you got mixed up in all of this. Why don't you go back to town? If your call comes through, I'll relay it on to you.
Oh, I'll wait for the call here if it's all the same.
Well, I'd prefer you were here. I'm in a mood in which I would like to confront Lewis with all my lovers.
You haven't had any besides me, Anne. Don't get boastful.
Well, then, I'm in the mood in which I wish I had more.
You're in the mood in which you're going to spill the fat fire if you don't take care.
Oh, hello, Jane Wood.
Good morning, Lewis.
Hi.
Ha! Yourself.
Good luck.
Oh, not bad. I talked to the mayor this morning, and he contacted the license division and had the 5-day waiting period overlooked.
So you plan on insulting your daughter the moment she steps into your
What
house?
do you mean insult my daughter?
I say, I suspect I'm
Marriage
in the way.
license and a clergyman on the doorstep sounds like an insult to me.
I'm merely trying to help out.
I would wait till she asks for your help.
If she loves him, she must want to marry
Well, the
him.
young man will make 30 a week.
Well, I'll put him out of the bank.
He has signed a contract.
Well, the attorney can get him out of that.
Lewis, let him have his razor blade adventure. That's much bigger.
He's had adventure enough. This morning, he assumes his responsibility.
Provided he
By
appears.
George, well, I can get him on the phone, right in the boat.
Really, Lewis, you look like a man I never met before.
You look somewhat of a stranger yourself these days.
I'll stroll out and see how the roses are.
No, man, don't go. Good to have you here. Mighty helpful.
Even so, I think I'll take a breathing spell.
You see, you embarrassed everyone. You're emotionally gauche.
Ah,
Well, Miss Ellen has undergone, how shall I put it for your correct ears, a rather revolutionary physical experience since Friday.
I don't know anything about that.
No, dear, I'm sure you don't. That's why I'm telling you. I think it's only fair that we give her some time to brood and dream before she takes her next step.
Meanwhile, this young man leaves the country.
So what? I bet Ellen can always tell later if she wants to.
If she still wants to, exactly. It's terms like that I don't understand. And you have the damnedest attitude. You know what you remind me of? The way I was when Roger made the football team, just like his old man. By Jove, I think you're proud of Ellen.
Well, I am. But she's becoming a person in her own right.
You're swaggering all over the place because she made the free love team.
Just like her old mother. Careful, or she'll smile.
You know, there's one thing you've never gotten through your head, that this is a conventional world. Always has been and always will be. But the convention and you pay for it sooner or later.
I didn't pay for it. I was rewarded.
How?
I got you.
Well, there's no sense arguing with you. At least you know where I stand.
Oh, you don't stand anywhere. You're lying down back in the dark ages.
Damn it, Ann. Take our own case. This old lover of yours bopping up right now has us on the rocks, and you know it.
Which old lover?
I don't know any of them. All of them.
Really, Louis, I don't see why my old lovers need bother you.
Well, they make me want to wring your neck.
Well, that's the risk a woman takes if she marries a man with a narrow mind.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Hello, Louis.
Hello, Connie.
Ellen's back. She arrived in a taxi.
Is she alone?
Yes. Well, if you excuse me, I'm going to go up and pack.
Connie? Connie, I want you here.
Oh, frankly, Louis, I don't want to stay. I don't like scenes.
I want the whole family here. Now, we may have a lot to do in a short time in which to do it.
Do what?
Louis feels he'd enjoy marrying Ellen off over my dead body.
You'll break up your entire family.
I assure you that if a wedding takes place here, it'll be in the best tradition of family love and affection.
And please.
Stay, dear. There's safety in numbers.
Hello, everybody.
Ellen, dear.
Hello, Mother.
Dad, why aren't you at the office?
I had several things to take care of here.
Did you have a good weekend,
You're
Mother?
very pleasant, dear. And you?
Deadly.
That's too bad.
Well, the Colbys may run a newspaper, but Lord, they are antiques. Prayers before Sunday dinner. Dad, can you imagine?
No, dear, but I can see that you can.
Anyway, the Hartford Register is definitely out.
Really, dear.
It's all births and deaths and local politics. I want to get on a more sophisticated sheet.
Ah,
Gee, I'm hungry. Wonder if I could have some bacon and eggs.
Of course, dear.
I had to grab breakfast at 7 to make my train.
Ellen?
Yes? What, Dad, what's the matter?
You did not go to Hartford.
Does Dad know?
He does, I regret to say.
But Mother, you said you'd stand by.
And I intend to, dear, but after you left, things got so involved.
Connie, you ought to be taken out and shot.
That's enough of that attitude.
Ella, I'm frightfully sorry. Couldn't you think back a little bit? In your day, you did a little pioneering yourself.
I've never even seen a covered wagon.
You're a fine one to talk. If you weren't rich and Dad's sister and too old, you'd have been put in a delinquent home for girls years ago.
Ellen, worry.
Oh, she had it coming to her.
Ellen, now look,
Okay. I see what my problem is. I just shouldn't have come back to this house. I had too much confidence in my family, that's all.
Now, Ellen, hold on. No, you didn't. Look, Have it. Take a seat. Look, your old dad just wants to help out. In fact is, he's taken everything into consideration, and he's mighty sympathetic.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Now tell me, deep down in your heart, are you truly happy with this situation?
Of course I am.
Well, you two are truly in love, aren't you?
Yes, of course. What do you think?
Well, I think maybe I can help. Have you considered marrying this Mr. Douglas?
Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hall, before he sails?
We don't even dare consider it until after he gets back.
Tell me, where is this, friend?
You mean Doug? He stopped in Stanford for a shave. He still thinks all of you don't know. And he's terribly sunk over leaving. Will you all be generous enough to act as though our pitiful little romance hadn't been flaunted before the general public?
Ah,
Oh, Mother, do make Father behave.
Dear, I hope we can all behave.
Well, I simply must dress. I'm going into town to help Doug shop. You know, that man hasn't but 2 pairs of socks to his name.
Ellen, wait. I think this may concern you.
hello? Yes, just a minute. I'll put him on the wire. Jaywood, New York's calling. They're holding on the wire.
Hello, Ellen.
Hello?
Hello. Hello, Froth Old Bean. What I called you about particularly was this. Have you a place in your Paris office for an A1 American girl?
Well, good idea.
No favor to me. I'm doing you the favor. No, but she has been published. Has a decided flair for newspaper work. Speaks French, 2 summers in Europe. She's Ann Whitman Murray's daughter.
Oh, you promised you wouldn't tell.
But understand this, she won't take the job unless she gets it on her own. Right. Perfectly satisfactory, I should say. Fine. I'll bring her in for lunch.
Oh, I'm lunching with Doug.
Oh, Froth, she can't wait till lunch. We'll be in your office at 12. Righto. The Paris edition of the Herald Tribune. Office dog. About $20 a week. Are you interested?
I might be. Mother, what do you think?
You've taken the line in your teeth, dear. It's your own problem.
This fits right into my plans. We'll all go to Greenwich about 4 for a nice, quiet family wedding. Dr. Winters will help with that hour he tells, and then we'll have a nice supper your mother will lovingly prepare, and then at midnight, it's off to the Queen Mary. Now, isn't that neat?
Very neat, Dad. Doug is sailing steerage on the Laconia.
I'll get you the bridal suite as a wedding present.
So that's the angle. The sitting daughter's returned, and you're going to make an honest woman of her.
Nothing like that entered my head, nor your mother's.
It certainly didn't.
We merely realized how miserable you'd be separated from Mr. Douglas
Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hall for 2 years, and then your mother intimated to Jaywood here.
Dad, it just doesn't listen right.
You've always wanted a newspaper job, so there you are, just what you always wanted.
Thanks, Dad. I'll take the job.
I don't think that'd be wise unless you were married.
Dad, don't you see? I can't just hang myself around Doug's neck like that. I mean, suppose I get sick or fired. He would worry himself half to death over a wife he couldn't possibly support. Honey, I'm sure your father would. What, be happy to dole out the money? When we marry, we'll be independent. You might think of your mother. Oh, Mother, you see what I'm fighting for, don't you?
I certainly do, dear. Make your own decisions.
I intend to.
However, you must realize, in Paris, you're working alone at a difficult job in a foreign background. And what's more, you may at any moment be plunged into a war or a revolution.
Well, that's exactly what I want. A chance to study the world and see why it's so cockeyed.
Why don't you stay home and study your mother?
Or your father.
What time did you say that appointment was for?
I I don't think they'll give you the job unmarried.
Your man didn't ask if I was a missus, did he?
Single girls, you know, Paris, they're a bit of a risk.
You advocate marriage too?
Oh, I know it sounds so.
You of all people.
I know.
Ellen might pick on Mr. Jaywood.
Ellen,
I suppose I was thinking things out too clearly for my own good or anyone else's.
didn't you say you needed to change, dear?
All right, I'm just going, Mother.
You actually encouraged her to take that job. Are you crazy?
I think it would be a wonderful opportunity, whether she's married or whether she's not.
Oh my God, first you help her to a weekend affair, and now you help her continue it all over Europe.
Lois, you're only irritating Anne. You're making everything worse.
I wouldn't let such a superficial thinker irritate me. I know what I'm about, Louis. I've seen this boy, and you haven't.
Oh, I could use a drink. How about you, Jaywood?
I feel I should be getting into town.
Oh, listen, Jay, I'm going into town myself. Why don't you drive along with me? I need the company.
Kind of you, but
I'm a beautiful driver. Listen, I'll tell Peter to bring the car around. Be ready in a couple minutes.
I think I will take a drink.
Oh. Well, it was nice of you, old man, to help Ellen get that job in Paris.
Glad to be of service.
Now that she's got it, would you do us one more favor?
Of course, what?
See that she doesn't get it.
I don't know.
All that friend of yours is the particular whom he hires, isn't he?
You mean call him up and say I've discovered your daughter's a bit of a friend?
Oh God, no, that'll never do. Oh, Jaywood, I'm an unhappy and confused man. Is morality dead? I just don't know it.
On the contrary, I suspect if I were a father, I'd have feelings much like yours. You know, it's always been a pet theory of mine that men are much more moral than women.
Are you moral?
Oh, rather.
You know, I noticed that Ann and Ellen were a little surprised when you agreed to this wedding. You, of all people, Ellen said.
I didn't notice.
Now, you know damn well you noticed. You turned as red as a beet.
Well, the truth is, I have been rather a gay dog in my time.
Indeed.
In London, you know.
Well, how would Ellen know about that?
About what?
About you being a gay dog in London.
I'm afraid my reputation may be somewhat international.
Excuse me, sir.
What do you want?
There is a Mr. Hall here to see Ellen.
Send him in here, Martha.
Yes, sir.
Easy does it.
I intend on being diplomatic.
Well, Mr. Jaywood, it's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you. Mr. Hall, may I introduce Mr. Murray, Ellen's father.
How are you, sir? It's a privilege to meet you.
Hello.
I just dropped in to see if Ellen had returned from Hartford yet.
Yes, she's back.
Has she been back long?
About 15 minutes, I should say. Shouldn't you, Jaywood?
Huh? What? Oh, about 15 or 20. Nearer 20. Yes, nearer 20. Will you have a drink?
No, thank you. I'm wondering if Ellen had time to tell you yet, or maybe she phoned.
No, she didn't phone.
Well, you see, Mr. Murray, I've fallen pretty deeply in love with Ellen. And before I left on Friday, we decided to become engaged, of course with your consent.
Mr. Hall, In your situation, I think the word engagement is a little error in terminology.
You mean on account of my going away for so long?
I mean on the fact you've been away.
Been away?
I said been away.
Easy.
Mr. Hall, unfortunately, I wasn't here when you dropped in for tea.
I was disappointed to find you away.
How in the name of heaven can a well-born, clean-cut, a fairly decent young man like you look me in the eye and... Oh, I suppose I ought to drop that phase of the matter.
I prefer you continue.
I would like... oh, never mind. Some of the time, my boy, when we're better acquainted.
I'm driving in town directly with Ellen. I sail at midnight. If you have anything to say, I'd wish you'd say it.
Mr. Hall, my daughter's happiness means the world to me, and I won't do anything to jeopardize it. Now, I probably am, as my wife so frequently says, narrow-minded. Anyway, my personal opinion of you is you have acted like an easy-does-it damn cad.
In brief, he knows you spent the weekend with his daughter.
I thought that's what he was driving at.
Correct, that's it.
Did Ellen just tell you?
I've known for quite some time.
Some time? That's impossible.
I knew it last Friday.
Well, then why didn't you stop us?
Well, unfortunately, you're already gone when I heard.
But Ellen assured me, I mean, we all had tea together. Nobody knew then. Did Mrs. Murray know?
Oh, definitely.
Before we started?
Yes.
So you mean to say that Mrs. Murray sat there all the time and served tea and talked nonsense and...
That's right.
Did you know?
Oh, yes.
What kind of a family is this?
They're extremely nice people, Mr. Hall.
Say, why didn't some of you raise a row? Then naturally, I wouldn't have thought of going.
Not much courage, huh?
Oh, I plenty of courage. I admit if a man didn't know the facts, my conduct might seem, well, kind of rotten. But frankly, you only have yourselves to blame. You know, I'm beginning to get craven sore about all this.
By God, you needn't get sore.
Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna just get my cigarette case and I'm gonna go up and tap.
Mrs. Nevins, may I introduce Mr. Hall?
Mr. Hall! How do you do? The family has spoken of you so often.
Your Aunt Connie.
I'm Connie.
I suppose you know too.
Know what?
About our trip to Lanesville.
Oh, just vaguely.
Well, didn't you tell your own niece what you know and advise her not to go?
No.
I can only repeat, what a family!
Hey, if you don't like this family, there's the door. You're welcome to use it.
Oh no, I don't go yet. What would that make me?
Well, I don't know, but at the moment you seem to be an extremely impossible young man.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Hall.
Good morning.
We saw you drive in. Ellen will be right down. Won't you be seated?
No,
I beg your pardon.
Mrs. Murray, we're beyond the point where we can be polite to each other. I'll tell you frankly, I'm pretty mad.
I know Louis can be very exasperated.
It's not so much him. It's you.
Me?
Aha! You, Mrs. Murray.
Young man, I am trying to be sympathetic.
What kind of a woman serves a man tea when all the time you know he's running off with your daughter? I mean, where were your motherly instincts?
Under control, Mr. Hall.
Well, don't you think it's pretty tough for Ellen and me to be led through such an exhibition as this?
Oh, of course I do, you poor dear. Louis, Ellen begged you not to tell him we knew.
I didn't. He dragged it out of me.
And another point you overlooked. My reputation.
Your reputation.
Your reputation won't travel any farther.
Everybody I've met so far seems to know it.
So you've told him. The moment my back was turned.
Darling, don't listen to a word they have to say. They're just trying to spoil everything. I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, oh no?
We talk this out right here and now.
Not before everybody.
Oh, come, Jane.
Don't one of you leave this room!
See.
I want them all here!
Why, Doug, what has come over you?
I want them to hear me propose to you.
You ought to know you don't have to propose to me.
But darling, they think I've misled you.
What do you care what they think?
Don't you see? It's the wrong way to look at it. I care too much for you, too.
Doug, we don't need to talk about this right now. Through Mr. Jaywood, we've had a grand piece of luck. He's gotten me a job in Paris. A job 1 week out of college, a newspaper job. Aren't you excited?
It might work out at that. We could get married, and Ellen could come over later.
Well, we hope she'd sail with you.
I see no objection.
I see plenty. We don't need to talk about this right now. We can talk it over on the boat.
Ellen, I can't let you take the same boat with me.
Why not? You didn't buy it, did you?
Ellen, we're going to get married. Right now, here. Today, where your whole family can watch. Well, you're not going to see me for 2 years.
Darling, you're just having a moral spasm. It'll pass.
Ellen, I'll have to insist. Either you marry me today, or it's goodbye for more than 2 years.
You've all been working on him.
I'd say he's been working on us, dear.
I can't be forced by you or any of the rest of you. I simply can't marry you like this.
Ellen,
In fact, I won't marry you like this.
well, that sounds final.
It is.
And goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm sorry. At least you'll admit I've tried.
Paul, you've been fine. No father could ask for anything more.
I'm pleased to have met you all.
Goodbye, Mr. Hall.
Goodbye, old boy.
Oh, Mother, what do you think?
Well, I suppose if a man is going to make such a fuss over being seduced, a nice girl ought to marry him.